So I just turned 35 a couple days ago, and I was reflecting on just how grateful I am for how my life is shaping out. Like, I just spent 2 weeks in beautiful Portugal with my family, enjoying some of the best food in the world, some of the best wines in the world, and seeing some of the most beautiful places in the world. I'm a husband, I'm a father, and so I got to thinking about some ideas and lessons that I wish I learned earlier that have been incredibly helpful in helping me construct this kind of life that I'm now enjoying more than I ever have before. And I know will be critically important as I look forward to, Lord willing, another 35 years of more life and more success. So here are 35 lessons in 35 years, or 35 things I wish I knew before I was 35, whatever you want to call it. And I hope you find these helpful and inspiring. Let's go through them. Number one, you can live a life free of regrets when you make decisions from conviction, not fear, FOMO, or people pleasing. Very simple. Number two, don't be a cheapo. You get what you pay for, so spend on the things that matter. I remember when I first started as an artist, I always wanted everything free. And I've just come to realize that you really do get what you pay for. Nothing is really ever free, and the amount that you compensate someone for something will directly, a lot of times, have an impact on the quality of what you receive. And if a person does do it for you for free, now you're just indebted to them. And there's a passage of scripture that says the borrower is slave to the lender. And even though the application is money, the same thing can also apply for favors. And so these days, I try not to ask for free things. And if I do ask for a favor, I do so knowing that I have to pay back this person as soon as possible. And so I try not to be a cheapo anymore, and I pay for things that matter. And this became even more important when I launched my own business, and I wanted to start charging more higher prices. I began to realize that I want the kind of clients that have no issue paying me what I felt my value was. And I realized that if these are the kind of clients that I want for my business, for my email marketing agency, for example, I can't be the cheapo customer for other people. So don't be a cheapo. You get what you pay for. Spend on the things that matter. Number three, your 20s will fly by faster than you can imagine. Boy, oh boy. I remember when I was 21, 22, 25, I thought like this time was going to last forever, but it flew by so quickly and I learned a lot. But in hindsight, I can think of so many things that I wish I knew sooner. So don't take your 20s for granted. That's not to say that once you leave 20, life is bad. It actually gets better, but as far as I'm concerned. But that period of life that is considered the prime time of your life in your 20s flies by so quickly. And I can hear my 40 and my 50 and my 60-year-old people telling me the same thing is going to happen with your 30s, but this is where I am right now. So I would say be mindful your 20s will fly faster than you imagine. Number four, don't be so judgmental. You probably don't have all the facts. Yeah, I used to be so judgmental, have strong opinions about a lot of things without context, and I try not to do that as much anymore, if ever. Number five, fight your tendency to suppress or ignore your emotions. They don't go away. They just build and will come out later, one way or another. And so therapy is something that I've had to take recently, Christian therapy, because I had stuff bubbling up from literally decades of suppressing emotions and thoughts and memories that ultimately impacted the kind of husband I was, the kind of father I was, and just the kind of human being that I was. And I realized that a lot of it was just because I was trying to suppress things that happened to me growing up or that I experienced, and that wasn't helping anybody. So deal with your emotions, address the issues, don't suppress them or try to push them to the side. Number six, time is more valuable than money. Simply put, that doesn't need a lot of explanation. I've also made videos about that, so go check out the channel. Number seven, you live the life created by your decisions, so be open to other opinions, but make your own decisions. I don't believe in the idea like, yo, screw what everybody else says, I'm just going to do my own thing. I do think you need counsel in your life, but at the same time, understand that you are going to live the life that you create. So if you make a decision exclusively based on what other people want you to do, remember, they're not the ones who are going to be living the consequences of those things. You are, right? So if they say, go rack up all this debt to go pursue this degree because that's what they feel is best, remember that when you rack up that debt, they're not going to be the one paying that debt back. You're the one who's going to be doing that. And so remember that you live the life created by your decisions. So be open to other opinions, but make decisions for yourself. Number eight, everybody ain't got to know your business, but a few people got to know your business. Like I said before, I don't think everybody's entitled to an opinion in your life, but at the same time, nobody's an island. And there's a passage of scripture that says, in the multitude of counsel, wisdom is established. So you need counsel, you need mentors, you need just a few people who are aware of every area of your life, your strengths, your weaknesses, your proclivities, your past. These have to be mature people because they can help steer you and guide you and keep you accountable in life and help you grow. So everybody ain't got to know your business, but a few people got to know your business. Number 9, keep a few really close friends, but many acquaintances. Again, keep the inner circle very tight, but you do want to have many acquaintances. And that leads to number 10, because the scope of opportunities available to you is directly correlated to the size and diversity of your network. Man, I'm an introvert, but I used to be a recluse and just not like talking to people, just because I just like to observe more than anything. But I'm realizing that I feel as though I'd be a lot further if I just developed the habit of reaching out to people a lot more frequently sooner, because now that I'm actually doing it more, I'm seeing so many benefits and opportunities just because I just know more people and my network is bigger. And so number 10, the scope of opportunities available to you is directly correlated to the size and diversity of your network. Number 11, avoiding risk is the riskiest thing to do. Trying to avoid risk, trying to play it safe is the path to nowhere. So you gotta be willing to take on some risk if you want to advance in life and create the kind of life that you want to create. Number 12, growth comes from discomfort. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. We've all heard this before. You're not going to build muscle if you don't feel tension or resistance. It's the same thing with life. It's the same thing with opportunities. Always be prepared to be slightly uncomfortable in order to develop new skills. Number 13, it never gets easier. You just get smarter. There's a whole video about this that I'm going to make. But it's the idea that we think that once we achieve some next level, whether that's maybe once I get a girlfriend or once I get married or once I have kids or once I make $100,000 or I make $1 million, I think life will just get a little easier. And the truth is, in some areas it does, but it never really gets easy, right? New problems creep up at every single stage. But the longer you stay in it, the longer you have a mentality of perseverance, you will just find that you get smarter, you get stronger, and your ability to shoulder more increases. And so it never really gets easy. You just get smarter and stronger. Number 14, nobody has it figured out. Even the people you look up to, they're all figuring it out as they go. And I can tell you this because I finally started having conversations and getting into rooms with some of the people that I look up to. And even they are like, yo, how are you doing this, right? And some of them are like, I don't even know how this happened. Yeah, I tried this, blah, blah, blah. And it worked out. But this worked out. This didn't work out. But at the end of the day, everybody's just trying to put together this complex puzzle of life, trying to build the kind of life that we want to live, that we enjoy and that glorifies God. And so don't look to anybody as being the guru. Yes, they may know some things that you don't know, but even in their position, they're still trying to figure out certain things on their own. Only Jesus is perfect, and only Jesus has it all figured out. Number 15. There's no such thing as a loss, only lessons if you learn from them. I've said this many times on my channel. If something doesn't go the way that you intended, you learn from it, it's not a loss. Number 16, you deserve nothing. Not now, not ever. Remember that. Kill entitlement. God's providential grace and your efforts work together to create your life. But don't ever get into the position where you feel as though these people owe me support because I supported them in the past, or I deserve this thing because I'm from this specific group, or I'm just going to be honest, I'm just going to say it, or I'm black, so therefore the world owes me something. What? Because my people, bro, just get out of here. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything in life, because at the end of the day, it's God's grace upon our life combined with our effort that creates the opportunities and creates the kind of life that we want. So kill entitlement. You deserve nothing, not now, not ever. Work and trust God. Number 17. The world is impartial to your struggle, right? Nobody cares about your struggle, to be honest. And this leads to number 18. All people are innately selfish and prioritize their self-interest. Use this to your advantage by serving them first, and then you get what you want and more. As one of my good friends says, outserve your competition. If you understand that people first and foremost care about themselves, not about you, not about what you want to sell them, not about your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, but they care about them, then you learn to address that and serve them. You'll end up getting what you want, because you will build such goodwill and such reciprocity that you will ultimately get what you're looking for. And so, yeah, all humans are selfish. Serve first, and you will in turn be served. Number 19. The more complex problems you can solve, the more money you'll make. Simple. So if you're in a low-paying job, ask yourself, what problems am I solving, and can I learn to solve more complex problems? And I guarantee you, you will start making more money. That's just how it goes. That's value creation. You provide value, you get compensated. You provide more value, you get more compensated. Number 20. This one is actually kind of interesting, okay? Sex is not to be toyed with, is not to be played with. everything that you do sexually, and this is me talking to myself as well, everything that you do sexually will influence who you become and affect all of your relationships. There is a reason why God tells us to wait for marriage. Very important thing. I know our culture, our society, attempts to treat sex like it's this trivial thing, like a trivial matter, but it's not. It's not surprising then that there are a plethora of issues that have arisen out of this laissez-faire attitude towards sex, as though it's just some other thing to engage in. It's not. And a whole video can be made about this, but I'll stop there for now and I'll say there's a reason God tells us to wait for marriage. And then the next point is this. Even if you do have that kind of history, there is forgiveness, there is restoration, and at the end of the day, I believe that God, Jesus, restores all. But this is the next point. Forgiveness of sins, restoration, and redemption, even though that is possible, you can still live a good and healthy life no matter your past. Even though it is possible, forgiveness of sins, restoration, and redemption doesn't always mean escaping the consequences. So God can restore you, but you still have to live with some of those consequences, right? So if I drive drunk and I get paralyzed, or worse yet, I kill somebody else, I'm going to go to jail. And yes, I can accept Jesus, and I can, yes, be restored. And yes, I can become an upstanding citizen later on, but I still got to do the jail time. So act wisely in all things. Number 22. Always jump at every opportunity to travel to new places. I love traveling. Like I said, I just got back from Portugal. I'm going to be heading to some other places very, very soon. And traveling is just an amazing experience that increases your mentality, your mindset, your understanding of how big the world is and all of the opportunities out there. So if you have an opportunity to travel, always jump at it. Wisely, of course. Number 23. What you do is far more important than how you do it. Okay? And this connects to the next point, 24. In your work life, try as quickly as possible to get paid for your mind and ideas, not your time. So taking these two ideas together, what you do is far more important than how you do it. If there's a task that has to be done, and somebody believes that it has to be done in a very regimented, specific way, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the best way to do it. If you can find a way to achieve the same results, but in a much more efficient way, then do it. So in the book, The 4-Hour Work Week, Tim Ferriss mentioned that at one point he was working in sales for, I forget what the company is right now, but he ended up outselling even the top salespeople within a short period of time. Why? Because he found a better way to do it. And so these people would get up on the phones all day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and make all these calls. And most of the calls wouldn't get to the people they were trying to get to, the decision makers. Why? Because they were often blocked by the secretary or assistant. But Tim realized that, hey, listen, if I do all my calls at 8:30 and at 6:30, something, I forget that other time, that around that time, a lot of their assistants aren't even in the office at that time. And so they can actually get access to the decision maker. And so Tim ended up saying, you know what? I'm not going to work these 8 hours. I'm going to batch all of my calls during these 2 hours in the day. Why? Because it's more efficient. And in doing that, he was actually able to make more sales than everybody else, even though he was working much less. And that's just an example of how to think in a contrarian way and finding an alternate way to do things. And he ended up outperforming everybody else, right? That's why I say what you do is far more important than how you do it. And then the connecting idea is that as quickly as possible in your work life, try to be paid for your mind and ideas, not your time. If you're in a position where they are demanding that you must work X number of hours, then ultimately you are devaluing your time, because time is more valuable than money. And so you have to think through, if I'm trying to accomplish something, it's far less important how I get it done than just the thing is getting done. Number 25. It is actually possible to make a living doing what you love. You need to believe that, right? So don't settle in a job that you hate and drains a life from you. We're all at different stages of our careers, of our entrepreneurial journey. Personally, for me, I'm not a millionaire yet. I believe it's going to happen, but I'm definitely much further ahead than I was before, right? And there are seasons in which, yes, you may have to do things you don't enjoy, but please don't accept that as an inevitability. It's actually possible, but if you don't believe it, it's never going to happen. You have to believe it. Number 26. Most of the real learning in life happens outside of school. It happens in the doing. So for example, some people say I have a marketing degree, but guess what? A marketing degree means nothing if you've never sold anything before, right? So understand that most of the real learning you're going to do in life is in the doing of the thing outside of school. At school, I have a couple degrees, but I've learned so much more in the actual act of doing the thing than just studying and learning about it. Same thing goes with online courses and whatnot. They're good. I think it's important to learn, but at some point you got to start doing the thing. Number 27. Building anything of value will be harder than you think it'll be, and it'll take longer than you think it'll take. Go into it with this mentality, go into entrepreneurship with this mentality, go into anything of value. If you're trying to build a good marriage or a good quality relationship, just know this. There will be times where I feel like quitting, but that's part of it. Accept that building anything of value will be harder than you think it'll be, and it'll take longer than you think it'll take. Number 28, don't sacrifice today for tomorrow. It may never come. And don't sacrifice tomorrow for today. YOLO is a stupid idea, right? Plan for tomorrow, live for today, right? So don't defer the enjoyment of your life until you're 65 and maybe later I'll do this trip. Bro, you may do all this hard work and sacrifice all this stuff and work out on the street and get run over by a bus tomorrow and you never got to enjoy those things. But at the same time, don't just be like, yo, screw tomorrow, dog. Like, I'm just going to be irrational and just like do my thing, dog. And I'm just going to do what I want today and God forbid the consequences. No, you got to plan for tomorrow and live for today. That means acting wisely, putting systems and structures in place so that you are enjoying the present without sacrificing tomorrow, or vice versa. Number 29, very important. Money is not the goal. Freedom is the goal. Very important distinction. Yes, money buys freedom, but the two things are not the same. If you're chasing money, that is an endless pursuit. If you're chasing freedom, then you understand that money is simply a metric to get there. So you define your freedom number. You say, this is what freedom looks like for me. This is how much it costs. Anything above that is a bonus. Very, very important, subtle, but important distinction in your path to creating the kind of life that you want to create. Money is not the goal. Freedom is. Keep that front and center. Number 30, you can never rise above the level of what you believe is possible, your mindset. I used to think that was a fluffy word, but it's so true. If something feels impossible to you, then try to put yourself in places and spaces where others prove that it's not impossible, right? I used to think, an e-commerce store making $100K a month? Nah, bro, that's not possible. And then I saw it. All right, cool. $250 a month. I saw it. Okay, cool. $500,000 a month. And then I saw it. Okay, $1 million a month. And then I saw it. And I'm like, I just saw it and I'm like, oh shoot. There are people who are literally making $1 million a month. So in my mind, I know it's possible now. And because I know it's possible, it's not a question of if, it's a question of how. You feel me? And so you can never rise above the level of what you believe is true. And if something seems impossible, then you need to go put yourself in places that prove otherwise, because that's the first step, what you believe in here. Number 31, no individual part of your life is unique, okay? Billions of people have the same story and experiences as you, right? So in a sense, you're not a special snowflake. So what you grew up poor, billions of people grew up poor. I don't want to make light of it. So what you experience some sort of abuse in your life. Billions of people have experienced some sort of abuse in their life, right? And again, I don't want to diminish anybody's struggle, but billions of people have the same story and same experience that you do. However, it is the combination of all of those non-unique categories of your life that make you unique, right? So the fact that I was born in Africa, the fact that I immigrated to Toronto, and the fact that my dad went from working as the head of HR for a big multinational pharmaceutical company to working security guard, and we had to struggle financially. The fact that my parents never had a good relationship with each other, and for lack of a better word, I grew up in not a broken home in a traditional sense, but I didn't see a good marriage modeled. The fact that I experienced different kinds of abuse growing up, none of those things individually are unique, right? But it's the constellation, the specific configuration of all of those different non-unique aspects of my life and how God has uniquely combined them to make my stories what makes me unique. So no individual category makes you unique. It's the combination of all of those things that make you unique. What does that mean? You use this knowledge to find your tribes and then differentiate yourself within each tribe. So, right, I'm a part of multiple tribes. I'm a part of the tribe, the fact that I'm black, the fact that I'm African. I'm a part of a tribe that the fact that I'm dark skinned, that the fact that I'm a man, the fact that I'm an immigrant. I'm part of a tribe because I'm a recording artist. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm part of a tribe because I have long hair. I'm part of a tribe because I'm a Christian. So these are all tribes I'm a part of, right? But in every single one of them, I can bring in another element into that tribe that the other people don't possess. Why? Because that's my unique constellation, my unique value proposition. And so use this knowledge to find your tribes and then differentiate yourself within each tribe. That's how you succeed. Number 32, what you lack in skill can be made up for with hunger. If you want it enough, you will learn how to do it. Number 33, say yes a lot to start. Say no a lot to scale. When you want to start something, you have to say yes a lot. You're going to say yes. And then once you get some stability and you want to actually grow the thing, your yeses are going to switch to no. Because now your value is more, your understanding of the value of your time is more. And now to actually grow beyond that point, it's not about saying yes more. It's actually about saying no more. And this is such an important thing that I learned and I continue to learn. Number 34, in entrepreneurship, you get further faster by delegating your weaknesses first before working on them. This is so counterintuitive, and it's something I had to learn recently because I always thought that if I'm not good at this area, I have to learn it and I have to do it, right? And yes, it's helpful to learn it, but you get further faster if you first delegate it, right? Like, I'm not great at this thing, so I need to go find somebody, hire somebody, partner with somebody, barter with somebody who is a killer at this, an absolute killer at this thing, because they're going to achieve the results much quicker than I can. And in the process of them doing it, guess what I'm doing? I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Let me learn from you. All right, this is Alex Hermosa's technique for how he works with agencies, right? He hires them and says, hey, we don't have the skill in this thing. Come, let's hire you. We'll pay you a little more to not just do it, but to train us how to do it, because the goal is that at some point in time, we're going to bring this in-house and then we're going to move you into more of a consultancy advisory role, but you're not doing it for us. You're just advising us. That's how you get the quickest results. Not by trying to work on your weaknesses first, but by delegating it first and then working on it as you go. And number 35, most importantly, Jesus is Lord. I'm so grateful that God saved me in Jesus Christ when I was 14 years old. And in all of these years, he has continued to keep me, not because I'm good, not because I'm perfect, but because he is merciful. And I'm telling you guys, there is no greater foundation, okay, that produces purposeful work, purposeful service, and a purposeful life than a relationship with God through Jesus. It is the foundation of everything that I do. It gives meaning, it gives value, it gives impetus, it gives eternal purpose to everything that I do, and justification and credence to everything that I do in a way that I don't know any other ideology in this world does. And so Jesus is Lord. Find Jesus if you haven't, and stay with him if you have. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shope. I am an artist entrepreneur, and the whole purpose of everything that I'm doing with this platform is to help artists and creatives think, act, and succeed like entrepreneurs. If you found this helpful, then I need you to go to the link in the description and sign up for the Artist CEO newsletter. This is a weekly publication that I put out with insights like this first to the newsletter, so they get the goods first before anybody else, before it hits YouTube or anywhere else. On top of that, there are a bunch of free perks and goodies that the newsletter community gets exclusively. So if you found this helpful, go to that link in the description and subscribe to the Artist CEO newsletter. It's absolutely free. And of course, you know what to do if you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, share with a friend, subscribe, hit the bell notification, do all the things. And if you want more videos like this, be sure to check out this playlist for some more insights. And as I mentioned, I am an artist, so if you want some cool vibes, some music you can listen to, some Afrofusion vibes, some R&B vibes, then check out this playlist as well. My name is Shope. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Peace. I'll admit it. Yeah, I get it. You been holding me down for a minute.